Have you heard the term awakening or anyone mention, I'm going through an awakening? Do you wonder what that is? Stay tuned and find out. All right, awakening. One of the first things that I recall reading about awakening is that individuals realize that they are, and this is how it is termed, spiritual beings having a physical experience. Okay? Honey?
Yes, I'm watching your beautiful, sexy eyes.
Thank you. So,
You look like a cartoon.
now that you are awake and on track here, according to the teachings, is that pretty much on point?
Well, as far as them realizing that they're a spiritual being?
That they are a spiritual being having a physical experience?
Well, from what the Ascended Masters teach us, yes, we're all spiritual beings. Remember again that the key thing here, in the Bible, it's stated that God made man in his own image. That's stated in the Bible. So of course we're spiritual beings because God is a spirit. That sounds to me as if though maybe the way somebody was brought up or when they were younger, or whatever it is, before they realized that, they never thought about it maybe, you know. But we should all know that we are spiritual beings. You've heard people say, I'm only human, what do you expect? Well,
yes.
Society says it a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that they say that because they keep believing what they see with their eyes. They see a physical body, so they figure, oh, you're a human being. They don't realize that the physical body is just a costume for the soul to do what the soul, or to accomplish what the soul needs to accomplish in this lifetime. So people spend so much time on what they look like, you know, if they're black or white, and all this racism stuff, and all because of somebody's skin color, or somebody's fat or thin or tall or short.
Disabilities.
Exactly. And again, that tells you right there that they're missing the major point. The way you look on the outside doesn't matter. It's how you look on the inside. And the way we look on the inside is our spirit. We all look the same because we're spiritual beings. So, according to the teachings and the Ascended Masters, yes, we're spiritual beings. I guess for some people it takes longer for them to realize that.
Okay. Another thing that is discussed are people who, during this awakening process, are being exposed to truths about, say, spirituality and religion. And for example, that religions are all connected and there really is no difference. You want to say anything before I continue?
Well, as you know by now, that's why we talk about the teachings. That's what the Ascended Masters have taught us. And the teachings is not a religion. The teachings are the original teachings. Some people call them, for example, The Secret. They took one portion of the teachings and made a movie out of it, wrote a book about it. And they have so many other things. A lot of these groups or religion, like the Masons, they took a certain portion of the teachings and they adapted that for Masonry. Okay? Masonry as in the secret.
The secret society of the Masons.
Right, not bricklaying. Right? But all that was supposed to be spirituality. The moment you say the word religion, they are different. How could somebody say that there is no difference in religion? There is. That's why it's a religion. Now what they did was, they took the teaching and then chose one portion of it and said, this is the part that we're going to follow. And so that religion decided to follow just that. That's where Buddhism came from, right? Because the prophet, Buddha, they said, oh, we're followers of Buddha, so it's Buddhism. We're followers of Christ, so we're Christians. We're followers of Muhammad, so we're Muslims. Now, the root, what they mean is the root or the foundation of that religion came from one source, which is the teaching. But if you look at them, they have certain customs and traditions that they follow, which the other ones don't follow, and that's what makes them different. But if you were to really, really study the foundation, yes, the foundation is the same. But that's not the religion, that's the spiritual aspect of each one of those religions.
Okay. And also
Does
part
that
of
help clear things up?
yeah, it does. And it reminds me of that saying, you know, as you seek the truth will set you free. So I think it goes as well for the individuals who say that they all of a sudden are seeing truths when it comes to political, spiritual, environmental, just all different kinds of things that really, I mean, it's part of an awakening process. Yes, the truth will be revealed to you if you're seeking for it.
Well, if they consider that awakening process, for us, that's the teaching in itself.
Yes.
There's nothing new there from what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
To say that that's an awakening. Everything you're saying is what the Ascended Masters teach us.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yes.
So, for somebody to say, well, I just found out that all religions came from the same source. Well, I could have told you that so many years ago, because I knew that once I was introduced to the teachings. Our kids can tell them that, and our kids they just turned teenagers and they know that already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about what you're exposed to. I don't think that, it seems to me that somebody just decided to put a term or a label on something that they just experienced, is what it sounds like to me.
I agree with that.
Right? When for us, all that is part of your growth in spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing earth-shattering about that so far. Maybe as you continue talking, something will come up that really awakens me, but so far, they're just like, well, yeah, that's the teaching. That's what we know.
Okay, another thing that is discussed in regard to awakening is that individuals will go through a process where they are facing traumas in this life mainly, and maybe some past lives. And as they are facing these traumas, which they have to do in order to, I guess, become spiritually aware, that they will go through bouts of depression and sadness and purging, and it really just sounds very sad to me, to put it in a nice way.
You about to cry? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'm trying to think of a great way to explain it. But basically, that's it. They say that, you know, part of the awakening process is that you have to go through all this emotional turmoil, basically.
Again, okay, keep using the word awakening process,
Mm-hmm.
but we know, based on the teachings and what the Ascended Masters have taught us, that we all have karma to balance, right?
Yes.
And we're in this lifetime and each lifetime for a purpose. There's certain things that we should accomplish. So if you have certain karma to deal with, depending on how heavy that karma is for that individual, as in they're not ready for it, because it's not heavy if you're ready for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what's really going on, then it might be a tough challenge for that individual. And maybe, again, that's why they give it that term. For us, who are students of the teachings and the Ascended Masters, we know that there's certain things that we do to prepare for these supposed challenges, so we're prepared for them.
Mm-hmm.
So then we don't get depressed because we know exactly what to, we have tools to handle those things. You know, and so it's understandable that if someone is all of a sudden facing something and they don't know what to do, they're not prepared, then maybe they get depressed, or all the other things that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
For us, if someone feels depressed, we have tools to handle those things so that they don't get depressed, or we get rid of depression because we know what's causing the depression, or any other challenge they might have. We know how to deal with that with the help of the angels or the Ascended Masters. So when you mention, when you're talking about what somebody's experiencing based on this awakening philosophy, the way it sounds to me is that they're probably going through that experience with a lack of knowledge. You know, we probably go through the same thing, but we don't see it as an awakening because we're prepared, we have the tools. And when something comes up that we should get answers to, we know where to go to get guidance to make it happen. So that we don't feel alone, because we know we're not alone. We know exactly where to go and how to get answers.
Okay.
Now, so they believe in previous lives too?
Some people come in believing in previous lives and others don't. That's why, from what I've seen, they're usually recommended to just work on the current life traumas and emotions that they have to get through in order to heighten their senses.
Well, that sort of makes sense without them realizing it. Because if you're working on the symptoms of your previous life, show up in your current life, right?
Right.
You know that already.
Yes.
So if you work in your current life, but what that does is you have to go to previous lives to really get the answers for what's going on with you now in this current life. And again, this is based on the teachings and what the Ascended Masters teach us. You can get healed and move on. But it's not one thing. If they're saying, well, just focus on this lifetime, that doesn't get you too far. Because it will take you a lifetime to get answers in that case. We know that in order to get answers, if something's going on with somebody in this lifetime, we need to go back to some previous life to find out why this is happening now in this person's life. And that's how we get answers to solve what's going on now. So then it doesn't take long for somebody, because they can get the answers quickly. And once they get the answers, as we're finding out, they get healed. The
Right.
situation is resolved, and then again they move on. So from my standpoint, hopefully what they're saying is, you need to yes, you work on this lifetime, but you have to access past lives to get answers for this lifetime. If that's not what they're saying, from our perspective, I don't see how effective that could be by focusing on just the symptoms without knowing the cause.
Right. Okay.
You want to add to that? Yeah, the way this is going is that you're interviewing me, sort of.
Indeed. It is, in a way. Well, I'm stating exactly what I've read, and I'm wanting to make sure that it's understood from the teaching standpoint and from the Ascended Masters exactly how things truly are, or how they relate.
Right.
Because a lot of individuals who I've seen post about awakening come in saying, I'm really confused. Where do I start? And what's really happening to me? Because the next thing that they always bring up as well is, well, no one understands. I've lost my family, I've lost my friends, and now I'm alone. And I feel so down because I'm alone all the time. No one can relate to me. What do I do?
Probably because you're acting weirdly and nobody understands why you're acting that way. That could also be possessions and attachments. More than likely, that's what's causing it. You know, so you don't know that, nobody understands that, then of course it's going to create an issue. People don't want to be around you. They don't want to deal with you because of negative energy that they're feeling.
Well, I know also for myself, when I was going through my process, I'm not going to call it awakening because I was just studying the teachings, but as I was going through the process of studying the teachings, I would get so excited about information that I had learned and how implementing it was changing my life that I wanted to go and just share it with everyone. And I started to share it with my siblings and my family members, and they weren't open to it because it was a different level of understanding.
Talk about behaving weirdly.
Yes.
Now when I say that, I'm talking about from their perspective, right? The people that you're...
Right, and they did. They said, Laura, that's really out there. You know, you need to get yourself back in order. And to me, I'm thinking, I am getting myself in order. You're the one who's falling behind here, not me. So I had to learn at that point that what I'm going through and what I'm learning is for me. And the individuals who are supposed to come into my life, who will share this journey with me, will be there.
Right.
But I need to make sure that when I'm with family and friends, that I continue to deal with them at the level where they are, because at the level that where they're at this point is what's comfortable for them, even though I may be at a different place than they are.
Okay, and it's good the way you stated that, because it's just a different place. It's not necessarily a better place.
Right.
Because some people, when I've heard people talk about religion, when they get converted to a certain religion, right? They start to put down their family members, and they say, well, I don't understand why they can't see that their religion is bad or isn't good for them.
Right.
And this one is better. And so that's not accurate. Because it's not a comparison. It just so happens that one person is at a different level in spirituality or spiritual growth than somebody else. And that's it. It's not one being better than the other.
Right. So I
So
think,
enthusiasm can cause it, is what you're saying.
yes, that's what I was
And then
about
you
to say.
drive people away.
My
and-
excitement.
And if you were being guided by the Ascended Masters, they would let you know that. Just keep your mouth shut. You know, this is how this works. Because again, of course, the Ascended Masters don't try to recruit anybody.
Right.
So that's where you were breaking the rules there. Well, I probably wasn't working with you there. So
No,
because-
you weren't yet.
One of the first things we say is what? Even now we say what?
Keep it to yourself.
Exactly. Because people would think you're nuts.
This is your journey.
Mm-hmm.
You just continue doing what you're doing and just let your example shine without
That's correct.
preaching it.
You talk by example, by being an example,
Right.
not by running your mouth off. And that's how it works. So we're not interested in recruiting or converting anybody because this is not a religion of any kind.
Right.
You know, so
Okay, well, I think that answers a lot of questions about what awakening is and how people view it, and then also the standpoint from the Ascended Masters and the teachings and how things really should be and the best way to approach it. Or maybe not the best way, but a different way to approach it.
the bottom line is that if you're feeling all those negative things, there's something wrong. Is the point.
Right.
Either you're missing something, something was misunderstood, or there's just something really wrong about that concept. So then, if you want more answers to that, more guidance, just contact us and we'll be more than happy to show you that what you might call this awakening and all the bad things you expect to happen are unnecessary. They don't need to happen. And once you are given the knowledge, you know how to deal with them and why certain things are happening and how you can avoid some of them completely.
And last thing I wanted to say is a lot of individuals try to do all this on their own. And they say, just give me the tools and I'll do it. And you know what? A lot of times, from what we've seen, reaching out for help and having someone guide you, help you, and mentor you through the process will help even more so that it's more pleasant of a journey for yourself.
You know, that's a good point. It's like the one individual from Nairobi or somewhere that contacted us. He was having this recurring bad dream.
Okay, I don't remember what country he was from.
Okay, or Kenya. I think it was from Kenya. And he sent his consent form in. We did the work, and then what did he do? He sent a message. What did the message say?
I don't have the dreams anymore.
He said, thank you.
Thank you. God bless your family. It was done.
That's it. Yeah, because all
Very
he
simple.
wanted was to help with the recurring dream, bad dream. That for how many years? Like 6 years or something. It's been haunting
For a
him.
long time.
And just like that, within a few days, it was done. And so for him, it's over. Now, later on, hopefully not, right? But all of a sudden we hear from him again. Oh, guess what? This happened. The reason I brought it up is that people really do think that they can solve these things on their own. And that's why our mission is to help them with their situation first, and then teach them how to do what we've done on their behalf so they can do it for themselves and then do it for other people.
Yes.
So, we're building this army of individuals that can go out and help other people, is the point. But it's not a religion or anything. It's just using knowledge of the universe, using knowledge that the Ascended Masters have shared with us. So, even though you might come to us and you get help right away, as in you get results right away, it doesn't mean it's over. That's just one portion of the journey, is what I wanted to stress there, based on the comment you made.
Okay. I think that covers it.
Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.